Where was I? Remind me.
Hi, I'm Sam Williams, an artist based here in London. I have a multidisciplinary practice that kind of encompasses moving image, choreography, collage, and writing. And it's also a kind of highly collaborative practice. Here at San Mei Gallery, the exhibition is titled Deep in the Eye and the Belly, and it consists of the first 3 chapters of a new moving image work. They're presented across 3 separate channels, a projection and 2 screen-based works. Chapter 1 is a kind of semi-documentary, semi-fictional look into museums and their cetacean collection, their whale collections, centering on stories of whale bodies and their kind of various histories. Chapters 2 and 3 are more performative. One is a straight-to-camera monologue in which the character talks about climate collapse and the formation of new communities based around the sort of desire for new oceanic bodies. And the last one is a song. It's a dirge, a kind of lament for the world's last whale. The 3 films are also accompanied by 2 small wax sculptures, which are casts of the kind of inner ear tube, the inner ear wax of cetacean. I'm interested in different forms of multi-species entanglements, the idea of bodies as worlds, communal survival, and kind of conditions of precarity. And I've always been reading and researching and doing writing about whales because for me they've become quite a rich image at containing a lot of these themes and ideas, not only in their biology and their kind of form as an animal, but also because of the many whale mythologies, stories, folk tales that kind of surround them and the spectacle of them as creatures. It wasn't until I came across this photograph of people dining inside the body of a whale in the museum in Gothenburg that this kind of various strands of research started to make sense to me, and the story of that whale is the backbone of chapter 1. It's a very surreal and quite strange image, and it sparked the idea of not only the museum and archival research, but also about a group of people who desire to or want to inhabit cetacean bodies and their sort of new speculative community that might come out of this oceanic thinking.
The belly of the whale was opened up for elaborate dinner parties for wealthy people who no longer retched at the putrid smell of the carcass. They dined happily inside the belly, underneath the skin pierced with stars.
It's also quite clearly a work that's set against the backdrop of climate collapse or speculations around kind of future climate scenarios. But it's not, or I wouldn't say it's a work about climate change.
And while it is true that some places scorched under a relentless sun, many more submerged.
Collaboration is a key part of my practice, and it's really important in my research and making process. I think it's quite common for film and performance work to involve collaboration at some level, whether it's with a performer, sound designer, crew member, or in the case of this work, also researchers from the museums. But for me, it's also something that I would do regardless. And I enjoy working with the same people repeatedly, trying to build collaborative friendships, working friendships, and real friendships that can deepen the quality of the work as well. So, for example, the character that features in each of the 3 films here is played by my friend Nando Messias, who's a performance artist, academic, theatre performer and dancer, and we've been working together for 10 years or so now. And so I feel each time we collaborate, whether it's on my work, on their work, we're building a language together and we're kind of understanding what we do, and I think that makes the work better. When left to my own devices, and if I'm working outside of a kind of commission context and I'm just generally researching in my own practice, I'm usually writing a lot and reading and kind of making notes around, it's always around the same themes, but I might not realize that until later. And at the same time, I'm collecting and gathering image material. I try not to say reference images because they're not always directly referencing a kind of certain strand of research or a certain kind of topic. But I'm kind of always gathering images and making collages. And then eventually, through some sort of ambiguous filtering system, an idea for a new work will emerge. The 3 chapters that create this exhibition are the first 3 chapters in a bigger project, which Deep in the Eye and the Belly is the title for. I'm producing chapters 4 and 5 this spring and summer, and they build on the kind of cast of characters that are starting to emerge within these 3 films, the community that live inside or want to inhabit whale bodies, and they're much more performative, more monologue-based, choreographic, and hopefully they are the start of more chapters to come afterwards. And I see this as a kind of ongoing project that at the moment doesn't really have an end.